I learned pretty early that there were certain things men just didn't talk about growing up. I'm talking about health, money, fear, what was really going on in the family. And somewhere along the way, I learned to do some of the same things. Because sometimes telling people you're struggling feels dangerous. If I tell you I'm scared, or if I'm having financial problems, or I'm not doing well mentally, what are you going to do with that information? Because I've learned something over the years. Information can become ammunition. And sometimes we protect ourselves so well that even our wives, children, and closest friends only see the version of us we want them to see. Now, I'm not here to tell another black man to be more vulnerable. I'm asking myself something much harder. When I admit I'm not okay, is that being known worth the risk? Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. I'm Tommie.
And I'm Lance. Today we're talking about something I think both of us have done throughout our lives, keeping things close to the vest. What happens when a black man admits he's not okay? Let's get into it.
Growing up, what did the black men around you teach you without necessarily saying it about what a man talks about and what a man handles on his own?
Yes. I'm saying
That's easy.
because a lot of it is you get the looks. You know, you start
Yeah.
saying something and you get
Yeah.
you say, "Oh, let me shut up."
Yeah.
And then, especially when you're a kid growing up, if you don't hear, like like your like that's who your role model, and after your father or whatever, talking about it or saying it, then as you grow up, you're gonna be like, "Well, I don't talk about
Yeah.
that stuff. We ain't bring that out in public places or whatever. Or if I tried to, you get a funny stare
smooth
down
or
or
smooth.
something going on. So just having respect, not lying, those things like that came up. But
Yeah.
talking about you wasn't feeling right in the head or something, or talking about you just got took for whatever, somebody scammed you, or you spent you got some money that you tried to spend some money that you didn't have.
Yeah.
You
Don't
never hear
put that
about
out
none of
there.
that stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of secrets in our household. A lot. I'm just talking about as a black family, right? There were stories that were incomplete and things that just seemed a little off, but you
Right.
didn't ask questions about it. And I think we said it before, back in the day, we're talking 20, 30, 40 years ago, if somebody said, yeah, your cousin so-and-so is off, you know what I'm saying? That lets you know that the joker crazy, but it doesn't go into detail of what they think crazy
Yep.
is, and you just end up passing that same message on about your cousin or your uncle or whatever. But
Well, it's things I know that you because I'm learning about things now
yeah,
that I had no idea.
yeah,
Growing up, where it's like, well,
same,
I never knew. I didn't know.
yeah. And it started with me when I started doing ancestry.
It,
Oh my gosh, just some of the checks I'd get from my mama and some of the closed conversations that I'd try to have that it just wasn't happening. Yeah, so
shoot.
but it was mainly with my dad. He never talked about his health. He never talked about his finances, and I remember that he never told other stories
Right.
about the family. It was always the popular
Right.
stories. It wasn't the details and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
and that's you said that about your father never talking about it. That's how my father would. He would talk about it after it was
known.
out, yeah, where it was like, okay, this really has to be taken care of, but leading up to it or before, so it could be like, hey, maybe we should try to, especially when he started getting older. It was like, and I know it was just fear.
Just the way it goes. Yeah.
Think about something serious you've kept to yourself. Was it truly because you believed it was nobody else's business? Or was there also a part of you that was afraid people might see you differently if they knew the truth?
I don't know that I was scared of people ever knowing the truth. because a lot of stuff that we talked about wasn't talked about. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not like it passed on to me to be shady about something. It was
Right.
just, if I didn't know the story, I just never talked about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got like 4 situations in my head right now that um, uh, I'll just say that my uncle on my mother's side, there were stories and situations about him that I never really understood until I was older.
Right.
And like now, it's just not a conversation I have about the details of that. You know, it's not like I'm trying to keep it secret or
Right.
anything. It's just, uh, and we also talked about it, but growing up, my dad also used to say, this stays in the house. So there were
It's
times
family
when,
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there were times when you knew, just don't just go spreading the extra stuff,
Right.
and so I think I've just taken that on. But I can also admit to the bravado that's out there of everybody embellishes a story or two, especially when young men or men are basically around each other and sort of one-upping each other, more and more stories and maybe amplified stories do come out. But one thing I've always tried to do is when it came to military service, I would just try to, I never tried to tell, if I told a story, I always tried to make sure it was as factually as I can remember it. And because it was never, I always felt the way I showed my progress or showed my capabilities was getting promoted
Right.
and getting a different job or other jobs and stuff like that. So I don't, I don't think there's anything I just kept to myself or a family secret because I was ashamed of the truth.
Right.
But I do know that there were times when I was struggling financially or times when I wasn't in the best relationship situation and stuff like that. But I just didn't talk about it. I didn't try to
Because it
curve
was
it
your
either way.
business. Yeah. Nobody else need to know about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I tell you, mine probably was whenever I was, and it's, I mean, and I know that other folks probably had the same, felt the same way. Was like after going to school, going to college,
Yeah.
because everybody thinks you go to college and you finish,
Yeah. You're
you're gonna
rich.
come out exactly. You're gonna come out making all this money, and I had double whammy. Is that I graduated from college and then I was going into the military,
Yeah. With the
so wasn't
wife.
making I wasn't making any wasn't making that
Yeah. He wasn't
big
balling.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
coming out and people thinking it's like, oh, you going and myself before
Yeah.
I not thinking I
Thinking
was
it's
like, oh, I'm
about
gonna
to,
give me
yeah.
a Land Cruiser when I graduate.
How'd
I
that
was
go?
rolling in my Corolla for I was in that Corolla for another
Yeah.
4 years or so. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, I never talked about how much I was making. Whenever I was especially when I was younger, coming up, because it's like I wasn't making any money. I didn't have any money
Yeah.
because, and we laugh about it now. It's like we were broke because
Then
we
I
would
love.
and we was doing stupid stuff. I know I told you about this. I told you, told y'all about this. Is we on second lieutenant pay, and this is in '90s, so we weren't making what the second lieutenant's making now. Not even close, probably what the
Right.
second lieutenants are making now. But we get our groceries, we pay our bills, little insurance, we putting away our money for our retirement and future, all of that stuff. And we got, look at our thing. We could probably got about $400 in the bank for the, next 2 weeks or whatever, to do whatever. And we say, man, we want a dog. Look in the paper and say, oh man, there's a Cocker Spaniel because we want to get a Cocker Spaniel. It's $200. Okay, cool. So we go
Hey,
get that dog for $200. But then,
yeah,
not thinking, it's like, okay, we gotta
your first
get
kid.
get food. We
Yeah.
gotta get the all the little
Care,
bowls, the beds.
grooming,
Got to
yeah,
take them to get any other the shots and
yeah,
stuff like that. So
yeah.
that 400 turns out to be
You
$100
in
for the
the
next 2 weeks.
red.
So we gotta because we gotta get to put gas in the car to get him back and forth to work. So I mean, just
Eat, yeah,
it
eat
just stupid.
outside of
Yeah, just stupid. I
yeah,
mean, stupid stuff is like you just that you don't want to tell people. Especially while kids tell them be like, don't do that.
yeah,
But like other folks, it's like I don't want to tell
yeah.
nobody. Tell them why
Especially if
my
you
business.
think
Look
it's
at me and they
yeah,
look at me like, man, he's
judging the
stupid as
best
hell.
out of
Yeah,
you.
but
Yeah,
it's like, but I I think about it now and it's like it's lessons learned. Man. It's
yeah,
like I'm telling you because I want you
yeah.
to
Now
no, not to do what not to do what I did, and it's
get caught
like,
up like a yeah,
but yeah, it's yeah. My thing was probably when I was probably financial stuff and where you just like,
yeah,
nobody need to know about that stuff. That's our
yeah.
business.
Going back and you talking about seeing green in the bank and thinking you got money. Uh, Now that don't mean that because remember I was single coming in the military for years, and so if people looked at me on the outside, they thought I was balling. You know what I'm saying? Because I had my cars, and I also had the rims on my cars. I had the systems on my car, and then I also, uh, every car after my first car, I started to take the interior as well as the
Oh
exterior.
shoot!
Yeah, so I'm trying to make sure that if somebody sees my car, somebody comes in my car, they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah," So I was fronting and balling too because hey, specialist through private through specialist back in the '90s wasn't making no money
Nah,
either. But I I was not saving money. I was throwing money everywhere. So if somebody thought I was balling, it's probably because I made them think I was. But then when they'd come asking for money, I'd be like, "Why do you think I got so much money?" So I think I sort of brought it on myself, and that's what you reminded me of that when you started talking about the $400 in the bank. Is there a difference between what you're willing to tell another man, somebody at work, or your wife, your children, or somebody you barely know? Who has it been hardest for you to look at and just simply say, "I'm not okay"?
probably. As far as telling anybody, I don't have a problem. I'm gonna tell my family.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I'm gonna tell somebody.
Yeah, if I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say something to my family
Yeah.
because I'm not just gonna say anything to anybody else. Because you said it earlier, it's like you don't know who you can,
Who's listening or
yeah,
how they'll
who
take
you
it?
can really truly trust.
Yeah.
Because you have some folks who you can truly trust, and like I have a few folks who I can truly trust that I can tell
Yeah.
and not feel like they gonna come back and
Use it against you or
yeah,
something.
yeah, beat me up with it or
Yeah.
whatever. But I mean, family, absolutely. My wife,
Yeah.
tell her because it's like
Yeah.
who else am I gonna
Yeah.
tell? Because then my father is my parents. I would also. I mean, I could talk to my parents, and especially my father when he was alive. Talk to him about anything. I didn't.
You tell them like real
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't have a problem.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, because I mean, and that was with me happened early. Probably well when I was probably 14, 15. That piece where I
That's a
could
bonus.
tell, I would tell, because that's like I didn't have anybody. I mean, I
Yeah.
felt like that was, if I couldn't tell him or talk to him or tell him about it,
Mm.
who could, so I mean, so I told him and I learned how to react to, because I told him some,
Real stuff.
yeah, it was like, okay, so whenever my kids, came and told me or said something to me, then it was like, okay,
Mhm.
you can't just
If you want
blow
this
up,
open,
pop off.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want
yeah,
to. So, but yeah, I mean, my father is one that I could always. I mean, and that's probably one of the things I miss the most now.
I bet. Shoot.
Because it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
but my yeah, you got to be able to talk to your family about stuff, and then
That's
probably
it.
not depending on who the family member is. Probably not everybody. I mean, but your wife, you have to talk
Yeah.
to your wife about everything.
That's
Cause
That sounds
y'all
good.
in it together, boy. I mean, but y'all, that's the
No,
thing.
no,
It's like you
I
in
get
it
it, but
together about when you're
just,
looking at financial. You talking about health. You talking about mental.
yeah.
At least
I'm
those
not
three. At
arguing
least
with you.
those
I'm not
three.
arguing with you. I'm
I ain't
just,
saying that it's easy.
yeah,
I ain't
okay.
saying that it'll be easy,
Yeah.
but
I, I,
that's the one that you should be able to.
I agree. If there's one, if there's one entity, it should be your spouse, and then that should carry over to your children. I'm just
Mm,
gonna tell you, man. I've grown up not just born into secrets, but I've grown up with secrets that, and it's not like uh, I have secrets that are like G14 classified. You know what I'm saying? That would shut down countries. I'm just talking about. I just have stuff like stuff with my parents. There's just stuff I just wouldn't talk to them about. You know, same thing with Nikki.
mm-hmm,
There's stuff and well, even soldiers because I always tried to be honest with soldiers and also tried to never hide my path
right.
because I always felt it was advantageous for them to see uh, what right can look like and also take away what may be wrong isn't best for you. But I can tell you, man, I don't know. I, I don't know, man, because even in high school, I can think now of there's plenty of stuff my parents don't know about my high school life. And then even my closest friends, there's a lot they know, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still they don't know the family stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just always like I said, I don't like calling it secrets because that makes me feel like I did it intentionally to
But I
keep
mean,
the stories
some
different.
stuff is yo. I mean, you. Don't, I mean, I didn't go and tell my father. I didn't run and tell him everything that
Yeah.
which guy. But if it was something where it's like I can't,
No, I'm
I
with
need
you.
his
I'm
help
just
for
saying
that one.
like,
But yeah, but it's like some stuff. I think you have to keep you. I think you keep it to yourself just because
but
it's safe. I mean, it's
the one thing I can tell you is that I've always been a private person, man. I've just never been somebody that just shares a lot of stuff.
right.
And the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because I think it I think it was because of everything we talked about uh, being scared of giving somebody an advantage over you, or and also growing up, we used to clown each other, joke each other. So
Yeah, big
anything that
time.
any weakness you had was going to be exploited,
Yeah.
So so I'm just
Especially
saying, like,
somebody got mad because you was
yeah,
getting the best of them. They come up and
absolutely,
get personal with you.
yeah. And even if they're your friends, they're going to get you,
Hmm.
but you still don't want to give them all the info so that they can destroy you because you
Nah,
want to have your get back. It's got to be, you got to have a chance to
that's
get a
right.
get back. So
Mm.
I'm honestly going to sit here and ask you this question because this is all just dawning on me. So, can you recall messages or things happening in your life or stories or whatever to where you purposely didn't tell somebody because of their reaction, their possible reaction to it?
Mm.
You can recall stuff like that?
Uh,
Cause
yeah.
okay, okay,
I had things stuff that comes up where I'm walking or might be I'm doing something where I'm doing something, doing something by myself. Comes up and be like, oh, why do that, and it happened
right, right.
decades ago. I
But
mean,
something you
something
kept
happened.
close to,
Yeah,
and
where
the
it's like I
reason you kept it
still,
was it because of embarrassment or just
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
business? Okay,
absolutely,
okay,
absolutely, because
okay.
it's one of those things where it's like, God, because it's not the
A lot
it's
happened in your
not the
life.
person who I'm look who I look at in the mirror now. It's like, why did
That's
I
my point. That's my
no?
point. That's my
Yeah,
point.
no, yeah,
Because
oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I got Got a lot of them.
Okay, because when you show up to work, there's a certain way you want people to see you. When you
Yes.
show up on a date, there's a certain way you want people to see you. When you are married and you're with somebody, short time or long time, no matter what anybody tries to tell you, you still want them to have that mystique,
That
or that
wholesome
feeling about
feeling about you. Yeah.
protector. I can trust them. They're trustworthy and they got my back. So
Nah, any what you got? Any
human,
chinks? Yeah, any chinks you want them to see it
yeah,
with you, so that's like you, not
yeah,
the.
yeah. You don't want to bring cheeks.
Oh God, no! You don't
Yeah.
want to bring them in. You don't want to bring the
You
ick
don't
in
want to
before you
bring
even get anything
you don't
started.
want to bring
So
your armor with a bunch of holes in
nah, mm-mm,
it. You earn them holes together.
mm-mm. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We spend a lot of time thinking about what could happen if we tell somebody our business. But what about the other side?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when keeping something to yourself actually made the situation worse?
That's easy. Yeah. And it's all because of the same stuff I just said. You don't want people to think poorly. Like for instance, and this is what I've talked about regularly, when my lights got cut off. I didn't tell nobody that story again until I
Mm-hmm.
was on this daggone podcast. And the only reason I told that story is because now I'm at a point, if you see that as a weakness, me, and I feel that way about a lot of the cold openings on the show. If you feel what I'm saying is a weakness, then the first thing is maybe you should learn the whole story, right?
Right.
First. And then secondly, if you know the whole story and you still consider me weak, then there's nothing I can do about that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying I'm at a point now to where I'm less and less and less worried about how
I,
people see me.
yeah, I mean, I can
Yeah.
tell you, I don't care. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. I still want to
So
represent my
yeah,
wife.
I
I
mean,
still want to
still want to
put your best
represent,
foot
still
forward.
want to be strong. But it's
Yeah.
like I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to try to
Yeah.
convince you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
If you take what I'm saying and you still feel the need to twist it, then that's on you.
go
That
ahead.
that
You know, it's like
ain't.
I can't. You know, as long as it's not going to cost me
Yeah,
financially,
yeah,
it's not going to
yeah,
harm me bodily. You know, give me
yeah,
any bodily harm or
yeah.
anything like that. Then
Yeah,
I can't, man. It's just
absolutely.
it's exhausting.
It's like a gentleman asked me when we were on the last cruise, and he was like, "Man," he was like, "It's very rare you see somebody." And for 7 days straight, I saw you, and I was like, "That joker's having the time of his life." You know what I'm saying? And I just straight up had to say thank you. And I was like, "Hey man," I said, "Let me tell you something. When I go on or go to a place, a vacation or anywhere, and it's meant for me to have a good time, I'm going to do everything I can to have a good time. And the way I do that is by trying to help everybody else have a good time.
Right.
And so if I go somewhere and I don't have a good time, it is purely my fault. It don't matter who the audience is. It don't matter who's with us. If I am not having fun, it's because for some reason I've chosen
Not to have
not to
fun.
allow myself to have fun. And so think about the people who are really valuable to you in your life. The people who uh, they know you for more than just the successes you've
Right.
achieved in life. They also know you for your failures, your fears, and like you talked about, your spouse. You think at a minimum they know you the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe there's things we talked about that you're ashamed of. Has allowing somebody to know the more complete version of you to you been worth the risk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because then they know, especially when you come through that situation.
Man.
When you come through that situation, and then you're not, you know, backstepping back,
Oh
or
my
you just, you
gosh.
just growing. I guess
Absolutely.
that's the main thing. Is like just growing from whatever the situation is.
But it takes so much stress off of you
That
when
too.
somebody knows you for you. that takes
Well,
away all the
that
pretending.
acceptance, because it's
Absolutely.
like if you can't accept me, what you just said, if you
Yeah.
can't accept me for who
Who
I
I
am with all
yeah,
my
it
flaws and
wasn't meant
everything
for you
else,
to
then
accept me.
yeah, and it's just
Let's just go this way.
yeah,
But for me, this is like it's exhausting trying to get people to see you the way you think you should be seen when you're not mature enough to know it's more than that. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So once you get past this bravado and once you start to understand who you are, you know what I'm saying? I'm okay with people looking at me as a protector because that's something
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted, and always wanted people that are close to me to know that I got their back. You know, we're safe if we're together. But at the same time, if they say I'm always hanging out with my wife and they think that that's weird, I'm like, if you ain't hanging out, if you don't understand what I'm doing, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that people would say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying if somebody picks something, like y'all always together, right? Why don't you go, where your friends at? Why are you all worried about this is my
Yeah,
friend,
I'm
those
good.
type of things, I'm okay. I'm not worried about how people judge me. I am worried about, I've always, and I think I forever will be worried about how I present myself way more than I'm worried about how people see me. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make
And where
sense?
you think that came from? Because I understand, because I can tell you I feel that same way, but that came, I know that for me it came from uh my
Oh,
father,
yeah,
my
that's what I was
family. I
about
mean
to
that because
say.
that's
Yeah.
what.
My dad always corrected me about how I was in public. He always corrected me about, and my dad's from Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and he had an accent, right? And so, but he always was on me, mom as well, but speaking well, um, uh, being educated, being seen as, I'm not going to put military words, my two military words in, but being seen as somebody who uh, has the potential to be very good or great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that was always that came to me because I always wanted to impress my dad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And so the stuff he said and the way he was, and then me taking on that name, that Jones name, and trying to, at a minimum, live up to it, let alone establish, my own
Mm-hmm.
level of it. Yeah, it's all because of my dad and my family.
Yeah. I mean that's that, and
So
I can tell you also being black,
yeah,
being a black male, and just how you present yourself. And
yeah,
I'm not saying present yourself as
fake or
yeah
anything.
fake
Yeah,
or white or whatever, but just
be you.
yeah,
Yeah, and be
be authentic.
and don't be a presence of weakness.
Right.
Don't be a presence of incompetence. In other words, don't fall into the stereotypes that the world
Right.
has already defined for you. Go out there and show uh, that you are just as good or better.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, and yeah, and you have to. I was gonna say because they are. I mean, whenever they see you
Yeah.
before you even speak or anything, they already have a
100%.
preconception in their mind of how you are and
Yeah.
what you're gonna sound like and how you're gonna act and all of that stuff.
And
So
I'll tell you, I'm not sure if it was my dad or one of my uncles, but um, I do remember that exact conversation where you don't have to work to be what they think you are.
mm-mm.
You have to work for them to see who you are.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
To
that
convince
is
them
all
otherwise,
absolutely that
to
you're
convince
not.
them
Yeah,
otherwise. Yep.
that you are not garbage, because that's what the
Right.
stereotypes are.
Yep.
That you are capable and confident.
You are less than.
Yeah,
Yep.
that you are not. Yeah.
I think there's something important we have to acknowledge. Everybody hasn't earned the right to know everything about us. Some things are private, and some of us have lived long enough to know that when you put information in the wrong hands, it can come back as ammunition. But this conversation has made me ask myself a different question. When I keep something to myself, what am I actually protecting? My privacy, my family, or the image I want people to have of me? Because there's also a cost to carrying everything by yourself. So maybe the answer isn't telling men to share more. Maybe it's being honest enough with ourselves to recognize when privacy is protecting us and when it's protecting an image we're afraid to let go of. Because sometimes saying, I'm not okay to somebody who's earned your trust isn't weakness. It's allowing somebody to finally know the man behind the armor.
Brother, I think that's the distinction I want to leave with. We're not telling another black man what he needs to share. We're not telling him who he needs to trust. And we're definitely not saying everybody deserves access to everything he's been
No,
through.
not at all.
We're just asking ourselves a question. Am I keeping this to myself because it deserves to be private or because I'm afraid of what you'll think of me if you know the truth?
If this conversation made you think about something you've been carrying or even about someone who's earned enough of your trust to hear the truth, we'd like to hear your perspective. And if you know another husband, father, veteran, black man, or simply another man who might see himself somewhere in this conversation, share this episode with them. And as always, let's keep the conversation going.
Hey, holla.
All right.